Medical units stand by. 30 seconds to contact. 20 seconds. 15. 10. 5. 4. 3. 2. 1.
We got him. Let's go.
Good evening to all you art aficionados and comic book connoisseurs, and welcome to another episode of Proof of Comics, episode 113. We're here with our usual gang of co-hosts, and we've got a very special guest tonight. But before we get to our guest, let me say hello to our co-hosts. We got Mr. Wrangler, Frequency Studios first. How you doing, Wrangler?
A whole lot of hola. How's it going?
Good, man.
I'm on your stream. Let me put up your work here. There we go. What do you think? Should I stick with the plane or the chick tonight?
You should alternate. You should have like an automatic image viewer kind of cycle through them.
Yeah, that's too much work. No,
that's okay. I'm working on yours tonight as well, so you're gonna be seeing a little bit of that too. Let me say real quick hello to Billy Bob Sack. How you doing, Billy?
Kapla.
I knew you were going to say that. You got some GTA 6 intel for us to look at tonight, right?
Yeah, some shit got leaked today by some crypto scam hackers.
But the leak is real, but don't buy the shit coin. Yeah, okay. I got you, man. And we're joined here with Chris Peel. How you doing, Chris?
I think that's a very wise, some sage advice there. Don't buy the shit coin, no matter what it is.
No matter what. Here we are Bitcoin only. I am a Bitcoiner, and it's also a theme of my comic book. So I will gladly entertain any conversation on the topic, but we do not tolerate shit coins over here. So
some would call you a Bitcoin maxi.
Yeah, Bitcoin maxi is acceptable, of course.
I'm doing well, by the way. Thank you.
Nice to see you, man. Ryder Buzz is here. Nice to see you, man. Welcome to the chat. And tonight, our very special guest is Mr. Vaughn Coleman, ladies and gentlemen. How you doing, Vaughn? Welcome to the show. Happy to have you.
I'm good. Super busy. No, I'm glad you reached out. Would you believe me? I said I was busy, man.
Dude, I saw on Twitter that you're just back from a conference on Long Island. Am I right?
Yeah, it was that was a small one in Long Island. I might scale back soon, but I was with John's Long Box. That was John.
Yeah,
and,
I was on the show a couple of times. Yeah,
and so that was fun. That was like that was my, I think, 25th show of the year. So I have been doing almost every single weekend to a convention.
That is hardcore, though.
Yeah,
That's
so this weekend, you would think I'll be like, oh, I'll take off this weekend. By taking off, I mean launching
doing a smaller one.
launching campaign, which is objectively more work.
Yeah.
So,
Dude, well, thanks for taking time off your
no,
schedule.
thank you for that. You know, I need
Insane.
to promote, and I always like to network. That's the thing. Networking is everything. I can
Good.
work, you know, as much as I like nonstop, but it means nothing if nobody sees it.
Yeah.
You know, and also I do like talking to people. Otherwise, I would not do conventions. That would, you know.
Well, you got it, because if you're going to sit in your corner and not talk to anybody, you're not going to sell very much.
On your phone,
books.
yeah. I pitch to every single person that walks by, and at those bigger shows, oh my god.
Are you sitting behind the table or in front of the table or standing?
Bits of both. Bits of both. I'm always standing though. Sometimes I'll like sit behind the table, but usually it depends. I kind of go back and forth. I'm very ADHD. So you know,
I can relate. So we've had a couple of your backers in our Discord. I've been following. Awesome. Yeah, they've been talking about getting your book and being interested and talking about the upcoming campaign. So I thought this was going to be a perfect time to have you on. Yeah. I don't know you very much other than I've seen you on a couple of streams here and there. Yeah, I haven't backed the book yet, but I'm looking forward to it. We're going to be going through your Kickstarter in some time. But I'd like to do a little bit of a background, if you don't mind. Like,
absolutely.
How'd you get into comics? Why? Because I've seen you're also like a kind of you describe yourself as a filmmaker as well as a comic creator.
It has been a while since I made one of those, man. But so originally I wanted to make movies. It's funny, I was always like, I don't understand how all these people could say I only want to do movies and then, you know, not do it. I'm not settling for anything. It's funny how that works out, right? But you know, I have always been brainstorming, coming up with ideas, whatever, ever since I was a little kid. I can't remember a time I wasn't. And I initially, the idea that would become Phenomenova, I came up with when I was in like second grade. But I had known I wanted to make movies. I had I really loved superheroes. I loved the Justice League animated series. I loved like Teen Titans, Batman the animated series, Spider-Man the animated series, you name it. I watched it, and and I love the movies too. I loved Sam Raimi's Spider-Man movies are my favorites, especially the first. I know everyone says Spider-Man 2. I think the first one is better. I don't know if that's a hot take or not.
I mean, like some of my friends love the first one. I rewatched it, and I was looking at the balloons, and they're like, "Oh, that's CGI." Like it's
some
early.
bits and pieces. Yeah,
it was revolutionary when it came out. I'm not going to lie. The story's great. They really get Peter Parker. It really is a good Spider-Man story for sure.
I think it's good. And it's very rare, I will say, to revisit. I actually, funny enough, I've seen like almost every superhero movie. A lot of them, like I'm a huge Batman fan. I don't think I've seen Batman 89 since I started reading comics, which was years ago. Like, so I'm almost like, I don't need that anymore. It was like movies became ultimately like my stepping stone to comics. It was like it was around the first time I started reading comics was I was in 6th grade, and it was like the perfect storm. I was going to a new school, and after school I turn on the TV, and there's an episode of this show G.I. Joe Renegades, which I remember actually really liking.
Oh, and that is freaking good anime of G.I. Joe. I grew up on G.I. Joe, so
it was the pilot episode. It was like part 2 of it. I ended up watching it. And it hooked me because it was like right off the bat. And now I didn't know who. It's funny, I didn't know who this character was. But you ever just like watch a show out of context and you're like, that's a main character death. Oh my god! Like if they go, well, I say it's spoiler. He comes back, but it was the first episode where Ripcord. By the way, really sick death where he just like blows himself up to save everyone. I'm like, wow. And then immediately the next episode. At the time, I didn't even know it was the first episode. On Leather Wings, Batman the Animated Series plays. I watch it. And the channel was called The Hub. I'm not even sure if it's still a thing. And every day after school, I would come home. So it was like, I remember this vividly. It was G.I. Joe, Batman the Animated Series, go do karate class, rinse and repeat. And it was every day I'd come back from school and I'd watch G.I. Joe, Renegades, Batman the Animated Series, and it was like every day I'd do that. And then this was 2011. So again, fall. And 2011 in the fall, Batman Arkham City comes out. It's the perfect timing. And Arkham Asylum, I remember I was almost like, this looks hard or whatever. And I didn't get it when it first came out.
The video game?
Yeah. I was a dumb kid. And then
I just played it last year for the first time.
Oh, so good.
Freaking loved it. Oh
yeah. Arkham City is one of my favorites ever. I've probably beaten the game like 3 times, although I confess I never finished all the side quests. One day I should.
I just left my game. Like I was like, forgot. I don't know where to go. Like I'm lost where I'm going. So I thought the first one was a little bit more linear. It's like I was just pulled into the next scene, like straight up. Whereas City, you got to investigate a lot. You're the one who has to go through the city to the different areas.
I didn't mind it because I guess this could be a tangent. I'm very ADHD, but one of the things that I like about Arkham City is it's like the right size open world. I think there's a lot of games that feel like we have the technology to make everything an open world. Let's make every single game an open world game. Let's make the map massive. It's like we don't need to do that. Anyway, I loved Arkham City. Because it's like, again, Paul Dini was involved with that. So it was like kind of like growing up from the animated series. That Christmas, I get the box set, all 4 seasons of the animated series. Because if I missed an episode when on TV, I would go back. I've seen most episodes. I should probably watch through the entire series though. But I've seen
You're
most
so
episodes.
fucking lucky I don't have the clip. I can't play it.
Which one?
The Batman one. I'd play it.
Oh no, we got rid of that one. Yeah, we love our clips here on the channel, and
I need to make more clips, man. I need like 5 more of me, but actually make them do tasks instead of ADHD. And be like, you are this. Anyway, so that Christmas, I get animated series. And I'm like, you know what? I have been always correcting people. Well, actually, like with the Dark Knight, actually, it's not fire, it's acid on Two-Face's face. Actually, whatever. Like talking about comics, it's about time I actually like go to these sacred texts that I've heard so much about that they're pulling from for everything. So I'm Googling like best Batman comics. And let me see if I have both of them. I know I have Batman Hush was the first comic I got.
Jim Lee,
that,
yeah.
And then also it was this collection my mom got for me that the greatest Batman stories ever told. And I should finish it, but it was a collection of a bunch of different Batman issues, some Golden Age, some Bronze Age, some Silver Age.
Artist edition of the Batman.
Now, I was spoiled right out the gate with that Jim Lee artwork. It's really hard to...
Dude, he's top of the line, man.
So I would look at older comics and I'd be, this is old. Like, like the artwork is whatever. Here's my Batman Hush. It's beaten up to hell. I remember I brought it on a school trip and then it rained and whatever, but I'm never getting rid of this thing. This is my baby. Jeff Lowe drew a little Batman.
It's always our favorite comics that are most worn, man, because we've been reading them, studying them, copying, tracing, studying.
Yeah. Maybe I'll get a Jim Lee signature if I want to remove my kidney. I can get him to draw something. No, but it's, it was, I got Jim Lee to sign like a poster. I don't know why I didn't just get him to sign my comic. That was stupid. But yeah, a poster that I was like, I'll definitely put this up. And then I just didn't. So anyway, Batman Hush, first comic I read. I'm enthralled. I'm loving it. And from there, I would just kind of keep looking up comics for this. And I found I Batman Year One, Long Halloween. I would often try and read origin story comics. Let's see. Trinity, Matt Wagner, very underrated. I'm just looking at my shelf right now. A lot of Batman. And then I started kind of delving into some Spider-Man, some whatever.
Yeah.
Bits and pieces when I was in middle school. And then it kind of was.
What did you get into for Spider-Man? What were your titles? Because there's like 4 or 5 different.
The first Spider-Man comic, I was at Universal Land, and if you've ever been to Universal Studio or there's Universal, if you go to the Orlando parks, there's 5 Islands of Adventure in Universal Studios, and there's a Marvel Island. And I remember going to the store and they had this, which is just a bunch of Hobgoblin appearances.
Yeah, okay.
I remember loving it. Now for Spider-Man, it's funny. I had this ultimate guide for Spider-Man. So even though I hadn't read the comics, I knew these characters super well because of this. This was I would go through it all the time. And it's, what's weird is it has so many villains, even minor. It'll have Solo and then people like this. And then I knew so many Spider-Man villains, even minor ones. Shocker isn't in here.
What?
Yeah. They have like every 60s villain, and then they don't have Shocker. And I'm like, he was important. You know, Shocker was a big villain. And
Like
then,
he's even in the video game.
dude, I had a blind spot. So when I was seeing top 10 Spider-Man lists, and there was Shocker, and I was like, who the hell is that? And yeah, so that was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, I saw Shocker in Amazing Spider-Man.
Shocker.
I got into the ASM probably when Mark Bagley came on. Like McFarlane had left, Eric Larson had picked up, and then it was Mark Bagley did a huge run.
Yeah, so that was it, and then Death of the Stacys, which after Jerry Conway died, I reread, and it still holds up. Eventually, I did when I was in college. Like, so again, I'd get really into comics, I'd get out, get really in, and it was ironically. Sorry, this is long-winded.
No, this is the content. This is what we're interested in. So don't hesitate, man. It's all about the sidetracking because we're geeking out about comics. We love to see how people got into them.
Yeah, I mean,
and why you love them, because that's why we're here.
And I mean, I always, even when I wasn't actively reading them, I'd always be like, check out the comics and everything. And one of the things that I really adored was going through and like just reading some of the older stuff, but I had never really dove into any super long runs for the most part. Oddly enough, like Gail Simone, not even just her run, that Wonder Woman run, like the stuff before her and after I had read, it was like fine. I like parts of it a lot. Aaron Lopresti actually did like half that run. But I hadn't really done a long run. And then one of the things that I really got into when I was in college and majoring in film, and I was seeing a lot of weird stuff going on in the film industry. And I wasn't particularly crazy about it. And then I started seeing like a rise in indie, and I started to kind of drift. And I was also, for some reason, I just got an itch to just read X-Men. And I, reached out to people I knew, and I was like, where do I start reading X-Men? And they were like, Giant Size X-Men #1, read into Claremont's run.
Mm-hmm.
And I did.
Yeah.
I grabbed this, and I read Giant Size X-Men #1. Well, technically, while I was waiting for that to come in the mail, I read X-Men Season 1, which is kind of like a modernized version of some of the Golden Age or Silver Age stuff. Anyway, I read this, I love it, and then I'm like, shit, there's no other Epic collection. So I get Marvel Unlimited, and I start continuing to read it. And around that time, I had kind of decided that I was going to take this superhero idea I had, when I was in middle school, was movie ideas. When I was in high school, I started tweaking it into an animated series, the idea that would become Phenomenova. And then at this point, I was like still writing a script, but I'm starting to kind of like, this run really is what made me realize I should do comics. And maybe I could even own the rights to it. Maybe I can even do it. Because I'm looking at all the logistics when it comes into filmmaking and how many people have to be on set for every little scene.
Yeah.
The permits you need to get, everything. Like when I did a USC summer program when I was in high school, the amount of permit, I'd be like, are you kidding? Just for this little scene, the amount of permits you have to do for like everything is just insane. Because USC, they would like buy the book. You do buy the book. And honestly, it was around that time, my friend who I met at the USC summer filmmaking, his dad starts this company, Phenom Comics. I'm trying to find it. And that was really cool because basically what happens is I'm starting that. I'm doing assistant editor work. Like I asked my friend, I'm like, dude, can you get me involved in that? I'm considering doing comics. And next thing you know, I get a phone call and I'm like, yeah, I see so many people are doing indie. Like even Chuck Dixon's doing indie now. And he goes, yeah, you're working on Chuck's book. I'm like, what? So that was Hunter Ninja Bear was the first comic I ever worked on. And
you worked on it as what? As a writer?
Like, as an assistant editor.
Assistant editor, okay.
And I remember I was like, oh, I'm gonna reach out to Chuck, tell him it's an honor to work with him. My boss was like, yeah, don't do that. Chuck doesn't deal with fanboys, just do your job. I'm like, okay.
Know your place, Beyond.
Yeah, exactly. So I would send the notes to my boss, who'd send them to Chuck. And
And just real quick before we gloss over, because you
Yeah.
said that his company was called Phenom.
Phenom. No relation at all.
Nothing to do with Phenomenova. Which
No,
would
at the
come
time,
after.
the book wasn't even called Phenomenal. The book was called The Vortex, and then I was changing it to Living Legends. And Phenomenova was when I was kind of like, those are pretty common, and for legal reasons, it might be better just to do something completely distinct. So Phenomenova was like, I had already started interiors on the book, and I'd even made a mock-up cover. Like when I was at Tampa, the cards I had there said Living Legends on it. So basically, while I'm working on this book, I'm learning that I'm like reading Chuck's scripts for comics. I never read a comic script. I'm reverse engineering them to do my own thing. And I'm also writing my own stuff, of course. I want to do mine. So because Phenom Comics are these big books, I'm writing it out. And I wrote like the first 11 issues and pitched it. I'm like, here we go. And, the fact that they even listen to me at all, because I'm not expecting anything, but I'm like, I'm shooting my shot. Yeah, even if I don't get it. And that was really
you gotta at least try. Get your stuff out there, yeah.
And around that time, it was like there were a few things that kind of pushed me to comics. Now, I'm not saying I'm done with film entirely. Right. Not saying that at all. But when it came to like my main outlet, one, I was having a lot of fun going to conventions and stuff. I like that you can go and just hang out with people who you're a fan of, that was one of the cool things.
How do you do that? Like so many conventions per year, you're doing one every week, right?
I might scale down. It is. So I would say.
So you've got to be living in moving around the country all the time, right?
I have only. Yeah, I've only gone on a plane for like a few. So, and I'm probably going to change that as I go. I get used to long drives, I would say, especially if you're bringing inventory.
Yeah.
Right. But that's just a tangent again. So that's like one of the things I've learned with that. Only fly out to a show. You've done the cost. It's so much logistical work going into these trips. But now that I've done it before, it's easier to do it again. Make sure you're like, okay, you have like, if I have to pay for a hotel when I'm out somewhere, usually I'm like, I'm not going. But if I have a place to crash or a friend to crash with or somewhere cheap, okay, cool. I go. The goal is to sell as much stuff as you can and fly back with as little as you can. Right. If you have to ship boxes, ship them. Try not to ship them back. Also, there are ways to save money. Like here's a free tip for everyone here. I didn't know this. Go to FedEx, and if you bring a box, if you literally just look at the identical FedEx boxes on the wall, this is like I didn't know this. Just say, hey, I'll take one of those boxes, the exact same dimensions of whatever box you have. If you just take whatever's in your box and just put it into a FedEx box, it'll go from like 100 or 200 to like $40.
Oh,
they have it's like a company policy thing where it's like, if it's in a FedEx box, we just standard. But then if it's your own box, even if it's just the normal cardboard box, they'll charge you at the ass. This is stuff I have to learn, when I'm doing all this. So,
okay, everyone at home, take notes.
Yeah.
No, dude, that's helpful, especially if you're going to be traveling and sending your stuff back. That's got to be a big package.
Yeah, man. But so I am doing that, and I'm kind of seeing the crowdfunding thing taking off. I'm seeing all sorts of directions, and it's after college. Like I did a few production assistant jobs, but really while I was at college, one of the main things that really shifted was Gina Carano getting canceled as well.
Oh yeah.
School. Yeah. And I was like, fuck. Because she was so respectful in how she handled things.
Dude, I know. I was not happy with the way stuff was going with Star Wars, but I was still like buying some of their stuff, the older stuff.
Right.
OG. Like I'm 50 years old, so I'm an OT guy.
Right.
But I was like, okay, I'm still going to buy the fucking Lego Star Wars stuff if it's OT stuff and all that. And then the second season of Mandalorian finishes. I liked it. Whatever you want to say about it. I enjoyed those 2 seasons. And then they fired Gina like right after. And I'm like, well, fuck you. That's
she doesn't align with my values. I'm like, you do realize that's half the.
It's because she's not evil. That's why she doesn't align with.
And let me just say for the record, you don't have to align with everyone has their lines, right? That they draw. but it's
Drawing
stupid.
one right now.
But it's like stupid to like write off 50% of the population, especially if you're a business owner. It's just not intelligent. You know,
Yeah.
and also of your talent too. Like, so I have to now, anyway, that kind of stuff was crazy to me. And I'm like, all right, you know, I love comics, and I'm not saying I would never work on other IPs and stuff, but I love movies and stuff. But I'm kind of like, let me really build my own basket, I guess, put my eggs in this, and just really, not saying I won't do work with others, I happily will, but I was just, let me take my baby and do something with it. I have all these scripts, and I really just spent a lot of time networking and everything. And when I was transferring my comic scripts for like the screenplays and like turning them into comic scripts and then rewriting them over and over and over and over again, I was like going through my comics, and honestly, I would be like, I immediately was like, yeah, I don't just do screenplay to comics. They're two very different mediums. And one of the things I actually ended up loving both mediums more, because there's some stuff you can only do in a movie and some stuff you can only do in a film.
Oh yeah.
And I'm at a point, like, because this isn't a Netflix pitch, you know, I'm in it for comics. If I make something, fine, but I love comics as a medium. I love really studying the pacing and page turns and spreads, and you know, talking to professionals. Like some of the first I ever met, Billy Tucci was one of them, Justin Gray, Graham Nolan, all through conventions, Jimmy Palmiotti, and Justin Gray was the first professional to give me notes on my script, which God bless him, because that earlier draft, oh my God. And I would have people just rip my issue 1 apart over for years. I'd be like, this time I'm ready. And then I had one of my friends from college was like, I want to care, and I just don't. It's not there yet. And I'm like, ah! And I would just keep rewriting it over and over and over and
That's
over
dedication. Yeah.
until I thought I was happy. Funny, I found my artist. He was ready to go, and I feel bad, poor Philip. But I like left him in limbo for months because I was just like, I'm not ready. His art is so good. I'm not ready. I got to get my script. And he liked the script, but I was like, it's got to be better. And I'm glad I did.
Dude, and this is like Phenomenova #1 you're talking about.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Which I knew immediately that issue 1 was never going to be my best issue.
Yeah.
And I had written those 11 issues, and because it was going to be like kind of released as Phenom, but I'm like, if I'm going to really crowdfund in this, pitch this, I want to get to the action with issue 1, like the reactor heist, and see Galvanite, even if it's in a makeshift costume, really set up the premise. It's already bad enough that Phenomenova, the team, wasn't going to be introduced until like what was then issue 5. That's bad enough. But in issue 1, he's got to be at least in costume, at least fighting. And so I condensed the first 3 issues into one giant sized issue, which is why issue 1 is as big as it is, because I wanted people to feel like, I didn't want people to read issue 1 and be like, I mean, like, maybe I'll get another one. I'll wait to a trade. I wanted people to be like, I need to know what happens next.
Yeah.
And also I got my money's worth. Because there's so many comics, and this is just the reality of the indie scene, where it's like, trust me, bro, it'll get good in issue 5. Well, what if you don't get an issue 5? What if, you know? And I really felt like I needed to do something special. And then issue 2 was more of my standard length. 28 pages is going to be my standard length, I think, going forward.
28, yeah.
Issue 4. Although issue 5, I did cheat. It's 29. So the book is still the same page count, but it's 29 pages of story instead of 28. Because I was like, fuck it, I'm indie. There's another I can cut an extra like fan art page or whatever.
Yeah, of course, man. That's like, it's your book, so you can like elasticize it a little bit. Like my first book, I wanted it to be like, to be able to do it. Like I didn't want to think too big at the beginning. So I was like, okay, let's fix this to a 24-page count, and I'll fit my story within this, and we'll start with this. With the second one, I'm thinking, okay, maybe I want a little bit more room, because the action could have like gone on a little bit more. And I'm going to shoot maybe for 32 or something like that, without fixating on the page number this time, and more going with the actual kind of story beats. But I found that by limiting myself to 24, all my scenes kind of ended up being cut in half. And that's not necessarily a bad thing too. You're cutting the fat, you're removing the extra stuff, the vanity ideas, and just keeping the essence of the story going.
Yeah, and I think that's why I grew a lot as a writer with issue 2. Because I'm like, trim down the fat, get to the point. And I saw rewrite all those issues. They're not the same as when I was in college. I'm a much better writer. Even when I was looking at issue 5, which is about to come out, my favorite issue, after years, I'm like, this is my best one. I go back and I check in. I'm like, these 3 pages. Okay, that's just one panel. What are we doing here? It's like, I'm like, all right, with dialogue, we have 3 pages talking about. All right, we say there's just one sentence to describe it. What are we doing? And that's kind of where it is. And it's been a lot of fun. I'm really excited. Issue 6, I think, was it one of my more boring issues in my first time around. Then I rewrote it. It's now one of my better. But 5 is something really special. And then my friend Bat Sauce,
Bat Sauce, yeah, he's in the chat. He's a regular on the chat. We've had him on the show once too.
Nice.
Is that a Full Metal Alchemist homage right there?
Yes. Yeah. So condense it. But basically, that was I was at Anime Matsuri. I was gonna do a limited edition variant cover, or like a mini. I basically had all this black and white artwork. I was gonna do these preview books for the show with that cover on it. And UPS was like, "Hey, wouldn't it be cool if we didn't deliver them?" So I was gonna get it signed by Vic and everything. I had to buy something else to get signed by Vic, but he was so nice. It was really cool. I gave him copies of my books. But it was my character. Galvanite has lightning powers. Bats and I are both Full Metal fans. His character has this armor, and the idea struck me, and I found Michael Rushbrook, who draws in that style. And I was like, let's just do that. And the idea just was in my head. It was quick turnaround time, super great deadline, and that was great. So he did that, and so I wasn't even sure if those preview books could happen. They are on my website if you want a little preview book, but I decided to I'm like, I can't. I'm gonna reuse this, and so it will be available as a Wraith Crown cover, which Wraith Crown is a new book in my universe that Bats pitched to me. I really liked it. So we got 2 books on this campaign. Wraith Crown is already fully colored.
Bats is my bus driver, by the way.
Oh, yeah? Oh, he's driving now? Good for him. Went up on the food chain. And so we decided to use that for his cover. And then there's also going to be, I'm adding metal covers this time. And I couldn't
really?
Wow. Yeah. So, and I couldn't not make, I was like, well, I'm going to do 1 metal cover per book. And I couldn't not have the metal as the Full Metal. So that's going to be his metal cover for his book. And then mine is going to be the Andrew Scott Marshall, the red Dark Cloud cover.
So the Wraith Crown, is that Bat Sauce's book? So
that's his book in my universe. So
okay.
Basically getting into what Phenomenova is about is it's a superhero story set 20 years after World War III and follows a brand new generation of heroes. Miles Hanksley, my main character, is the son of a veteran, and her first issue gets struck by lightning while holding a mysterious crystal, and then strikes on his own to stop a heist at a nuclear reactor. From there, basically what happens is we see him begin his training at the hands of one of the veteran heroes that inspired him to join a team called Phenomenova. And the series kind of deals with the reactor heist. The first 4 issues, issue 4, we met the team. 5, now we're into something different. This is all about Dark Cloud, our main villain. What's going on, Readout? Yeah, man. I'll tell you what, the digitals are on my website, $5 each, even for the triple size first issue. So if you decide to read them that way, and then if you like the physicals, we've got that. But I always want to make it where it's easy to keep up with the series. So if you're like, I don't have this much to spend on an indie comic, no, you can just get the digital. And
I've been meaning to ask you that, by the way. The physicals, are they always available to go to your website and buy? Or
for the main covers, yes. For the variants, basically the variants are printed for the crowdfunding campaigns, and whatever I have left over is on my website and at conventions until they're gone, and at a higher price too. So like the campaign prices are the lowest prices. I like double the prices afterward with the limited amount I have left, and once they're gone, they're gone.
Understood. Yeah, because I have Phenomenova issue 1 in my grubby little paws right here, but I wasn't able to keep up with all your other launches, so I need to catch up.
Thank you. Yeah, you got 2, 3, and 4 are on my website right now. And then 5 is going to be on the Kickstarter. 5 was my artist is a little behind, but 5 is 25 pages inked and out of 29 and 20 pages colored. So it's mostly done. The Wraith Crown's going to be pretty much done. I'm hoping to have it in people's hands by the end of the year. I was hoping to have it as early as October, November. I might even make the fulfillment date December, even though I intend to get it out earlier, just because there's more stuff. There's 2 books in this campaign, which means the possibility of something going wrong is twice as high. So just to be safe.
Yeah. There's always variables, unfortunately.
Oh,
Yeah, because you've been doing campaigns for a long time, right? This is going to be your 5th one or 5th book, right? So how has like your view on campaigns kind of like changed over time? Like,
a lot. So I'm gonna. There's first of all, my first campaign. I promised way too much stuff. There's so much. I'm like, why did I spend money on this? Is a stupid idea. Okay, so a million stretch goals featuring characters no one gives a shit about, but I'm like, they look cool. Yeah. No one who's back in your first issue gives a shit about your characters. They want to give a shit about your characters. They care about you. They don't give a shit about your characters. When you go, dude, check out the sick art of this character that you've never heard of. Okay. So I would say like my stretch goals are actually more like serious stretch goals. They're not as much like, hey, I mean, to an extent, like the truth is nobody makes as much as they want to make for the most part. Yeah. But that's okay. It's a matter of doing things. My crowdfunding campaigns, the primary goal is to get them in your hands. And then whatever I've left over generally is spent on the next stuff and things like that, getting the next book faster. I would love to like make enough money where I can keep some, but that's not the goal of the crowdfunding campaigns. So some of the things I've learned, I am from now on going to, because my first campaign, I did all the variants are $5 more, and then I brought them down for issue 1 and 2 and 3. From now on, variants are always going to be at least a little more expensive because otherwise you're just wasting money because the people that want to buy the cheapest option, just give them the main cover and have the variants be at least a little more expensive. Hollow foil, everyone liked the Vika Marion cover so much. I guess technically it was just foil, gold foil. But I was like, I'll just throw this as an option. People want it. It'll be like double the price. It'll be $30. So that way there's no possible way I could lose money on this if only 2 people buy it. And then like a shitload of people bought it, like almost as many as the regular version. I'm like, really? So that's why I'm adding metal covers this time. I'm like, all right.
Yeah, because there's a lot of collectors in the crowdfunding space. Like people are like, sometimes there's people that, hey, I want a bigger option. You don't have any big options. Like some people are really big collectors and they want to support creatives. It's surprising.
Yeah, what you want to do, and this is first of all, the keep going at it is a thing. People are inherently, even people that love your book, not everyone's going to buy or select. For example, I forget which one of you, I apologize, said they've only got the first one. That's going to happen between campaigns. You got to be constantly picking new people up between books, right, is one of the main things. And constantly getting new backers, I think, is a thing, but also catering to the people that actually buy. Listening to what people want. What you want to do is you want to make it fairly easy for people to buy in, but then give them options for them to buy high. Right.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, is Cruz remaining your artist through the whole series, or?
That's as long as I can hold on to him, man. He's great.
I really like his art style, so I was hoping he was still going to be. Yeah,
he and I are growing and improving. Like I definitely would be willing to do fill-in artists or whatever for certain storylines or whatever for certain things if I want to pump things out faster.
Like
one shot. Yeah, kind of like how there would be like the Barry Windsor Smith X-Men issues, or like Art Adams would do an annual here. Like I'd be willing to do stuff like that. But Philip, I want to keep as my main artist. He's so good.
He is. I really did like his art style flipping through there. Especially Phoenix. She's a babe.
And as a reader, you kind of want to stick with the same artist generally at least on the same storyline.
As a writer too, man, because it's like he now understands my manic scripts. We understand each other. We have a certain flow. It's going to be hard, adjusting that with a different artist. That kind of stuff, the kind of synergy. Our synergy is better with each issue. I was super like, oh, we got like the first issue. Yeah, I remember there was one point where I like have 500 different hairstyles. He does like 2 sheets of hairstyles. My artist is like, dude, I can't keep revising these hair. We got to just pick something. I'm like, I'm sorry. So, but now I'm kind of much more lax with that. We have like a better balance. There's always learning curves, but it's better. Are we doing a trade with all the issues on the next campaign? We'll see. I don't want to say for sure when I'm doing my trade because I don't know. There's a couple things that are up in the air, but issue 5 is pretty much ready to go. So everything's on this campaign. In terms of the trade, I'll let you know. Not on this campaign, though. This campaign is not going to have the trade. We'll see, depending on the next. If I have a trade, but if I do a trade on issue 6, 5 would not be part of the trade. If I were to go that early, because it's kind of like. So again, that original storyline, I've now condensed to 9 issues.
So the original 11 is now 9?
Yeah, well, it became 8, and then I was like, I had enough ideas to add to the ending, and I was like, okay, let's just make a whole nother issue. So 9. But I'm either going to do 1 through 4 as a trade, and then 5 through 9, or just wait a long-ass time and do 1 through 9. I haven't decided which way I'm going to go. So I'm not entirely sure yet, but we got at least 1 through 5.
And so the campaign for number 5 and the Wraith is about to start, basically launching soon. It says, do you have a date yet, or
I'm as soon as I'm hoping, fingers crossed, either Thursday or Friday is my hope.
Oh, okay. So sign up now, and next week. Okay.
This week. It would be this week.
Yeah, okay. That'd be awesome, man. Okay, so sign up. Won't cost you a thing. You'll get updated when it launches, and then you can get your copies. Because I haven't subbed yet. So is there going to be an option like for people that haven't gotten anything, like a catch-up tier?
Always catch-up tier. There's going to be the main. In fact, there's a little bit of a discount. If you get everything in the Wraith Crown in one, I give you a little bit of a discount.
Ooh.
Like instead of what it would be with each one. It's been nonstop. People have been. It's great seeing people really like the series because I think each issue is better. Like this is my favorite issue yet. And I feel like I've improved so much as a writer, Philip as an artist, as a project manager, which is 50 different sets of skills.
Yeah.
And time flies, man. Time flies. And when you do something new, you make mistakes inherently.
Dude, I know. My book is it's about to be shipped now, and I reread it a million times, and you still have a couple of things that still slip by. It's a lot.
Yeah, I'm gonna say I'm adding because I was like, oh, you can just get the past variants on my website, and I realized some people don't know that and just do Kickstarter. So all my past variants they're on my website now, but they're going to be available as add-ons, and once they're gone, they're gone.
Yeah.
So keep an eye on all that. I'm putting everything on this one. Basically, there's some original art. In fact, I think I'm going to put the original Dan Dahl art on this campaign. That's our new villain, King Dogan. Thank you so much, Scribe. But yeah, I make it easier if you want to catch up digitally. You can. So the full series to catch up on all 5 issues and the Wraith Crown is just $30 for digital. So
it's a good option. It's good to have the choice, man, the options in there.
And so the Wraith Crown is basically Bats had pitched me this idea he had where what about a country that lost World War III? And we had decided where are we going to go? It's got to be somewhere with castles. And we decided to sacrifice Austria at the altar. I made a rule that Germany redeemed itself in World War III. And I guess I had thought that would do Austria. He convinced me. Austria actually sided against us, World War III in my world. And basically, the Wraith Crown follows the son of a veteran, but his dad is still alive. And ultimately, he's on a trip with his father. And they go to this museum where they find this old Wraith Crown, like this crown with this ghost in it. Kind of like, how Aragorn has that ghost army in Lord of the Rings.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like he can command a ghost army from within the crown. He can also create medieval weapons out of this ghostly energy. And basically his dad gets possessed by this warlock from the dark. So it's like this dark age conflict of this king and his ghost army and the warlock who imprisoned them in the crown. And now you have the warlock possesses the son, and the father has to work with the king to fight each other. And he has to free his dad while his dad is possessed by a warlock that's trying to take over the world.
Readout is like, we decided to sacrifice Austria at the altar.
They're redeeming themselves after the war.
Readout's a fan of history. I guess future history as well.
Yeah.
I would imagine. Nice. So where are you at with the 5th book? Are you like doing your campaign once the book is ready to wrap up? I guess that's kind of.
I mean, here's the thing, because I want to get right into issue 6. I also want there to be as fast of a turnaround time as possible between books. So my thing is, I just want to get started, and then it's probably going to be finished within the 30 days the campaign is going. If not, then shortly. I mean, the art will be finished, and then the letters. Like our hope is that by the time the 30 days are up, both books are we could just send them right to the printer. That's our hope. Okay. So I launched my campaigns as soon as because I want to get as quick of a return on investment to my backers as possible. I also hate the illusion of, look at all this money in my bank account. That's not my money.
Yeah.
No, because there's always some bullshit that comes up.
Yeah.
So don't spend all that. That is not your money. That's, and so I try and fund as much of it as I can. Everything basically going forward is to print the damn books and everything. What you're looking at right here, is 2 separate covers when you set them aside.
Yeah, it's a wraparound, right?
Yeah, well, it's actually.
Oh no, it's 2 covers that unite.
Connecting cover. So I kept telling you wraparound. It's connecting covers.
No, connecting. Yeah.
Yeah.
I got one of those from Shane Davis. He did a special, and I was like, "Oh, dude, this idea is mind blowing. I got to do that sometime."
Yeah, it's formatting everything is like not even something I think of. I have all these ideas. And I almost am cursed with knowledge because now I come with ideas. I'm like, oh my God, is this going to be a logistical nightmare? But I think it'll be okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's the fun of being indie has always been that, is being able to kind of do what you want with the covers, with the presentation, giving something that's got a little extra love that you won't find in the mainstream. I remember going to like underground comics, right? It was much closer to the punk rock music scene back in the day, and people would have these vertical things that they'd break the format. They'd be like all over the place doing like square books, rectangular books, and it was the fun of it. It was just the varieties, just blowing your mind. Oh, you could do that. There were people who would like make transparent covers, so you'd have line art over something that's drawn underneath and doing these layered stuff, and you'd be like, the creativity was unlimitless. People did not. It was basically what you could afford to do. We got Tenkage in the chat. How you doing, Tenkage? And Patrick is here. How you doing, Patrick?
But yeah, I mean, anyone that buys anything from my webs, you can get it right now, or you can wait for the campaign, and it'll ship November, December. I mean, I'd hope October, but I plan for things to go wrong. So
yeah. Yeah, it's good philosophy to have. I got to ask real quick, because I saw a photo of a fan taking Patrick's book, which is called Phenomenon, title very close to yours, and going to see you and getting it signed on the cover. Do you remember that?
I do. That was a serious man. He had come up and he was like, "Can you sign this Phenomenon?" I'm not actually, like, if you wanted me to send, he's like, I'm not actually going to do that to his, I didn't do shit on this book. And he's like, just sign the plastic. So like I signed the plastic, but I didn't actually sign the book. Because I'm like, I'm not into this book, but I was like, sure, why not? You know,
That was
and so-
funny because it's been a running gag because
I heard-
your
yeah.
books have like a similar title.
we
and
launched
you-
around the same time too. I
and
remember.
you're both like younger dudes with like blonde
is it?
hair.
That's
You
the funny
two
thing.
should
I have
both
no
meet up
idea.
and sign each other's books.
That'd be funny. See, the funny thing is, I have no idea what he looks like. I've seen his covers, but I had no idea. That's funny that he's blonde too. I had no idea.
Yeah.
But
Do you want to know what he looks like?
sure.
We got a clip of him right here.
He is not an agent of the CIA. He is a writer of comic books.
That's him.
No, that's not what it looks like. That's actually
Oh
from.
man, I mean, this is not.
No, that's because that's our intro clip. That's why Wrangler says that, but it's not what he looks like. He's a host of the Commandos on Saturday. But that clip was from the first comic book movie that Disney ever did called Condor Man, which was a fictitious comic book creator who was drawing and writing a script called Condor Man. And he's best friends with somebody in the CIA, of course. And then he gets sent on a secret mission. Anyway, if you have a chance to watch Condor Man, it's a hilarious kind of, I think, late 70s. It's got to be like superhero film that Disney did back in the day. It's more of a comedy than anything else, but they tricked out his car. Like he's got a like James Bond car times 11. There's a van that turns into a speed car that turns into a boat, kind of a thing. Fantastical stuff.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes to the thing is, no matter what, and I will tell you this, no matter how many times you promote, no matter how many streams you go on, no matter what, the second you close out a campaign, oh, I just missed it. Oh man, did I is there something I could get? That will always happen. There are people that you think are going to back your books that you have to just keep going and keep pushing.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm finding new ways to make money, even little things like, because there's shit that I don't care about, but I'm like, oh, apparently customers like this, or like I'll have art sitting around. I'm like, I could reuse this. Why not? I could, like there was this, we were going to do this print for a MegaCon. It didn't end up working out. I think there was licensing issues or whatever, but Kane and White had all this art with my characters. I'm like, it wasn't enough for a cover, but I was like, I'm not just going to sit on this. What am I doing? And so I'm like, all right, fuck it. You guys, we got some Kane and White stickers with this campaign. Little things like that, or that Full Metal cover. Everyone seems to love that so much that I'm milking the fuck out of this thing. Like I'm kind of glad actually, that's not true. I'm not glad at all the preview book I'm actually still mad at that. But
what happened? Your preview book?
The UPS, they go, yeah, it's dropped off of your address. I'm like, great. Well, I was staying with a friend in Houston, and then they go, I'm like, where the fuck is it? And they're like, I file a report, and then like weeks later they go, oh no, see, we dropped it off. See it, and then their proof that they dropped it off is them saying they dropped it off.
Oh.
I'm like, that's what? And then at this point, the printer, God bless him, was like, you know what? Fuck it. I'm going to reprint them. I'll cover the cost and ship them to you. God bless him.
Your printer covered for the shipping.
They fucked up. The UPS didn't do anything wrong. I mean, no, sorry, the other way around. UPS did everything wrong.
Did the mistake, and the printer
right, and the printer
had your back. Wow.
What a G.
Dude, that's going out of your way for real, man.
Mm-hmm.
Damn, kudos to them.
Yeah, really. Printing costs, a lot of my budget is to printing costs and to shipping costs because something goes wrong and that's like hundreds of dollars out of your pocket. Or there's the economy changes. That's like, I'll get even just not outside of the campaign. I'll give you an example. I planned this road trip where I was like, I'm going to go from boom. It was Washington, D.C., stayed with Bats. We did Awesome Con together. Drove down to MegaCon, drove up to Lexington, Kentucky, drove back home, right? Big trip. And then how was I supposed to know we were going to go to war with Iran and the gas prices would skyrocket? I'm like, are you fucking kidding? Shit happens and you can never know everything.
Oh yeah, dude. Like I live in Canada, so could you imagine when Trump announced the tariffs? It's like, oh no. It's like I just so I had my books being printed in the States. So I was like, okay, I'm getting them shipped in the States as well. So they don't have to back and forth across the border for nothing. Because dude, you can get taxed a couple of times going both ways, just trying to get the logistics of everything.
That was what shocked me when my campaign tiers are pretty much done. I'm just now putting all the graphics in order. I might hire someone else to do it next time, but I was like, fuck it, I've spent too much as it is. I was like, when I was doing my campaigns, I was like, holy fuck, why is Canada like double this? You're right there.
Yeah. Yeah, it's crazy. And on top of that, there's like a lot of shipping errors, and it takes an extra week or two to get stuff generally. When I start seeing people receive it on Twitter, hey, got my book, I'll get it like 2 weeks later, a week or two later.
And that's where it's tough because I try and run a campaign in such a way where I'm hoping everyone has their book in time, but I also want to do it. So like the last orders shipped out on Monday. I'm hoping. So that's part of where I'm kind of like, I throw my hands up to God a little bit. And I'm like, it's going to launch when it launches. That being said, I'm going to work my ass off to make sure it launches soon. But I'm like, if there's a delay, maybe that would give someone the extra chance to read the book, blah, blah, blah. And it is what it is.
Patrick says, if we were friends with Russia, we wouldn't have any oil problems. I mean, there's a lot of oil in Canada and a major lack of freedom. I'm just saying, just a lot putting that out there. Real quick question too, like as far as printing, like, do you print what, like most people like will print 10% extra off of what they kind of crowdfund? I printed like 2x. This is, generally small numbers, but I figure I'll have some to sell later. What's your view on that?
I'm always shooting the amount of time I spend with that shit. Is going back and forth on printing numbers is enough to drive most people crazy. I will tell you this. So like for context, there was some part of why I didn't go to the trade is, first of all, I wasn't ready and I wanted to do that. Oh, readout. By the way, guys, real quick, there are fan art contests for both Phenomenova and the Wraith Crown. The winner of the Wraith Crown one gets their art to be the back cover of the book. And then Phenomenova, they get their piece in the book. They also get a free comp copy of the main cover of said book. So if you scroll the campaign, there are fan art contests.
That's awesome.
Yeah. But with the main cover, I try and print as many of those as possible. Variants, first time and second time, because those are kind of back to back, I printed way more than I needed. With issue 3, I printed just a little bit more of the variants and then a fair amount of issue 1. And I think that's a good metric. I'm just going to print like the minimum amount of variants because I've realized that at cons, the normie, they don't know what the hell a variant is. They're like, why would I pay more for the same book, the different cover? That being said, when someone does, it's like, oh, it's so nice. But it's like the amount of time I spend sitting looking at these admittedly beautiful covers and going, okay, because it's like I already told the backers this, so the variants of 1 and 2 are almost gone. I think there's the one that I have the most of is the Ruby cover, but like the issue 1 variants are going to be pretty much gone. But I would say it depends on what you're moving, because that's one of the tough things when I'm trying all these cons. I don't know how many I'm going to move. With my first campaign, I regretted printing more. I'll say, like, for example, the Wraith Crown issue 1, because it's the number 1 issue. I plan on doing a larger print run of that book.
Yeah.
Issue 5, I want to do a decent print run, especially if I decide to go to a trade with issue 4. Then I would need more of 5. But with 1, 2, 3, and 4, may not need a ton. So that's all, something to figure out. But I would say print in general, this is one of the things that Paul Thayer told me. This is like, dude, print what you need. Print what you need. And I'm like, really? Because I was doing all these numbers. But the fact of the matter is, like, if you want to see that huge print discount, you got to print like a high quantity.
Oh, yeah, dude. You have to be like in, it's like you got to be in the thousands, right?
Yeah. Now there was a discount with the offset bundle for issue 1 for Perfect Bound books, and I was like, well, I don't have a trade yet. Fuck it. Let's do that. So for like 50% off, I just printed 1,000 more issue 1s. And that's part of where I was like, I don't have the trade ready anyway. Might as well do that. And I'm already almost out of I am selling through my like 5th/6th run, because my 6th run is the American 250 cover. I'm out of my 4th run. But yeah, I mean, I try and print at least, because now I'm moving differently, at least 100 to 200. You got to understand, when you're flying out for certain shows, you got to have a lot if you're paying for a fucking flight.
Oh, dude.
And whatever other expenses. And so, yeah, I mean, it sucks because you think for a second, I made this much money. You're like, wait, no, I didn't. You know,
I paid a lot to make that money.
But like, if any of them come back for more, that's good, and it's someone else who bought your book. And so I would say it depends on like how many you think you can realistically move between, especially if you're doing between campaigns. Like for me, I'm gonna figure out, it'll depend on how much I make, you know, because I wanted to set a campaign goal where it's enough to print both books for Bats to get his, you know, for Bats' book to fund and everything to fund, and then just to, like, making sure we get the bare minimum we need to get everything in people's hands. And then the stretch goals are kind of indicators of, okay, we get to this number, I'll throw you guys a little something, and that means we can do this and this and this. And so I would say, sorry, I know I'm long-winded, but it depends entirely on what you think you can move. If you're doing conventions, definitely print more. Always have the most of issue 1. Even if issue 1 like is a bigger sized issue, which some people start with 2 or 4 or 3.
What?
I should always have. Yeah, sometimes like this con with John, a fair amount of people did issues 2 or 4, but that's why I always have a previously on.
Huh. That's
right?
Weird. I would have thought everybody started with 1.
Most people start with 1, but every once in a while, no. You never know. And so the overall majority start with issue 1. So print a ton of issue 1. I personally would print 1,000 of issue 1, but that depends on your goals. You know, if your goal is your goal to break even? Is your goal to push on to the next one? Because the fact of the matter is, if you're continuing to move, you are going to sell a bunch of issue 1s. But you also don't want to put yourself in a place where just sitting on books forever. I would print 1,000 of issue 1 though, at least. And then with the others, you know, as you see fit, 1,000 is generally the number I like to hit. I think I print 1,000 of issue. Did I print 1,000 of issue 2? I mean, at this point I have, because I've done reprints. I'm trying to remember my original print. 1,000 is a pretty safe number of main cover or issues overall, I guess.
Yeah, and you're pushing it like every week at conferences as well.
God.
So there's a lot of work, sweat that you're putting into it, and to getting those books into people's hands as well. I think I'm going to revise my comic. I'm not going to make Rattel 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm going to make a different number 1, and you have to follow the series through a different number 1s. And,
so you're going to be that guy.
Use the Marvel tactic, Midnight Suns. Dude, that's what got me sick of comics in the 90s.
Yeah, I was like, I mean, I was going to say anything. I'm like, you know what? I mean, if you want to.
No, I'm joking, obviously, because that's how marketers think, right? Because you've got the idea that people want number 1s, and then they kind of pervert that idea.
Yeah, I remember that caused a big old comic bubble burst in the 90s. Well, there's so many number 1s. I think there were more number 1s than regular issues.
You had what happened was the Wizard folks were pushing a lot of the market, and you had all of the baseball card traders who actually invested in baseball cards as an asset, which is absolutely ridiculous. And that market had just crashed, and they moved their money into comics. And so they had started investing into comics thinking, okay, this is going to pay for my kid's retirement. I'm going to buy these number 1s and so
they're just worth fucking nothing now.
But that boosted the sales in the 90s. Everything was like blown up out of proportion because of those financial investors. And then, as you say, it crashed. It crashed hard, like the baseball market. It's not because the thing is the demand. They forget the demand. The demand's not going up. You just falsely inflated the demand, buying the number ones, and there's nothing coming after that. There's no like other generation coming in. I need this number one because
they're worse than scalpers.
It wasn't organic. Yeah.
Hold on 1 second. Got to use the bathroom real quick. I'll be right back.
Oh, good, man. We got to play a little clip of Sabrina, too. I think we're overdue. It's past the hour mark. I think it's time. Sabrina, where art thou? There's my little Sabrina clip here.
Did we just summon Corey with that?
Did we?
I don't know.
Not yet. We have to say babes 3 times. Dan Genovesi is dancing, though. That's a good sign. Welcome, Dan. If you're new here, make sure to like and subscribe. We'd love to see you around in future episodes. And we got to have Bats sometime to talk about his book.
Yeah, it's been a while.
Well, he had him
on. How do you keep saying his name wrong? It's butt sauce, not bat sauce. Butt sauce.
Oh, good. You're still there.
My never fail bus driver.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dan and I were hanging out this weekend.
Say again. You were heading.
Dan Genevieve and I were hanging out this weekend with John.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah. Is he another creator? I'm not familiar with him.
Dan, you created anything yet? I've been telling you to get on it. No, Dan's a good artist. He's a friend of mine.
Get on it, Dan.
He's in the chat. I don't know what he's working on right now, but I know he does some really good art.
Oh, that's cool. Always love the art creators in the space. Okay, so we talk shop a lot. Let's have some fun now. Would you take us a little bit into the world of Phenomenova, Vaughn?
Yeah. So like we talked about, it's a superhero story set 20 years after World War III. Now, in my world, there was a team called the Crusader Corps that fought during the war. The Crusader Corps were all across the globe. In fact, I don't have it on my issue 5 campaign because at this point I'm like, oh, people don't know. But the Crusader Corps was. Do I have my copy of issue 1? Let's see, here.
Well, Phoenix is the Crusader Corps as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, Phoenix Senshi is a member of the Crusader Corps.
How is that pronounced? Phoenix what?
Senshi. Senshi means warrior in Japanese. I think it was female warrior. And now, after the fact, we have 20 years later, America, of course, won, but there was this area that was destroyed during the war of California. And it's been rebuilt into a county called.
Hold on, let me blow you up here.
This is one of my favorite pieces I've ever gotten. It was one of the earliest.
By the way, what year did World War III take place in your book?
So I have intentionally tried. I have a number in my head, but I've intentionally obscured that for a while for a number of reasons.
Understood.
One, I'll see movies that like Blade Runner will be like 2019. And it's just that's or like Back to the Future 2. And so for those reasons, but I will say I'm not trying to necessarily accurately predict the future as shown by things like Austria being, but I also, in my world, superhumans led to and fought on both sides of the war. But now we have Sanctum County and Sanctum City. And from there, we have a bunch of cool places in my universe. And basically, from there, what we got is this story that follows kind of a new generation of heroes. The Phoenix Senshi is training this team called Phenomenova. And so in my world, in the main world, you have these guys. Galvanite is the newbie. So I kind of, in New Mutants, they kind of had to earn their uniforms. They had the generic X-Men style. Yeah. Galvanite has that. And then everyone else has kind of earned their spot. So we've got Force, who's the leader of the team. He can create force fields. He's the son of a general. Then you've got Estrella, who's deaf and blind, but she has psychometry. So through physical contact, she can absorb information from the world around her in real time and the memories, whatever. She's also
is the term for that a touch no? I think I've heard people say.
Is it? Because I know it's as psychometry.
I'm going to look that up.
It reminds me a little bit of the Earthbender, though. I don't think
she as well. Yeah.
Yeah, she wasn't deaf though, was she?
Yeah. No, I decided to make. I'm like, fuck it. No, she's gonna be blind and deaf. But
Suffer a character of mine.
And then so she can kind of instantly communicate with her teammates, and share memories. As an exposition, she's just super great. And then you've got Vivacity. She's a redhead. She can absorb solar energy and convert it into concussive force energy. She could also fly when in sunlight and can use laser eyes. Then you've got Thermo. His suit is purple in its neutral state, glows red here when he uses heat, and blue when he uses cold. He can control and manipulate temperature. The Phoenix Senshi was one of the Crusader Corps. She's mentoring them. She's like basically a super ninja.
I like the color change thing. Like it reminds me a lot of all the toys we had as a kid, like that would change color in heat, right? We'd throw them in hot water or the cold and they'd change.
Yeah. Oh, that would be such a cool tool idea eventually. But I want people to care about the characters first before you start investing in toys and shit.
Yeah, 100%.
Dude, I'm the same way. Estrella was one of the later characters. I think, what was I going to say? Estrella was one of the later. I have a list of tons of characters I was coming up with. And some of them I came up with when I was in middle school, some here. But the original team, Estrella was a character I was going to introduce way later. And then I had this gap in the story. And Estrella fit this. So she ended up being the first one I introduced, even though she was past in double digits for what I had planned to introduce. So that worked out. Love Estrella. And,
I pulled up that info. I don't know if this matches your character's abilities. A touch no is an informal term sometimes used to describe psychometry, an extrasensory ability where a person touches a physical object and receives direct intuitive knowledge, historical information, or energetic impressions about its past owners or events.
What's it called again?
Touch no. More formally, psychometry.
Psychometry. So that's what I know it as. I never have heard it as touch no. That's awesome. Yeah, psychometry. Or touch and no. Okay, that might be. Psychometry sounds more intellectual, but touch and no is more.
That comes from the hippy dippy woo woo crowd.
It's more street.
That's
right?
probably why I haven't heard it. Yeah, I don't hang out with the hippy dippy woo woo crowd. Although they've tried to indoctrinate me many times. But yeah, and then you've got the tech support character, the Indian tech support character, Hotline.
No, you're serious? That's funny.
Based on actually a friend. I was like, "Can I base this character off of you?" She's like, "Sure."
Thank you. Come again.
Yeah. So that's Hotline is the Indian tech support character. And then for villains, we have Dark Cloud. Dark Cloud is, we don't know much about him. What we do know is that he was involved in a nuclear reactor heist that we see in issue 1 and then 3. We kind of flash back to the heist as part of a team called the Storm Bearers. Here are the villains. Dark Cloud, we know he uses a power suit. It's funny, he's barely done anything yet, and he's still the fan favorite character. And like this issue, like you actually get to see him use his stuff. And I've come up with so many gadgets and stuff over the years. I'm like, I got to extend these fight scenes.
Did you accidentally give him a bunch of aura farming scenes? And
I mean, not accidentally, definitely. Like, this is not like, I wasn't like accidentally like, wow, this happened. No, it definitely, the aura farm.
It's an accidental explosion that they're not looking back to.
Yeah. So funny enough, that's actually a portal. But it kind of looks like an explosion.
Oh, okay.
But I was like surprised to be sure, but a welcome one. And it looked really cool. Yeah.
Bobby says, and force is literally a homosexual bats. Having a lack of two senses is superior to having a lack of hetero. Okay. I don't know what I just read.
I'm not following. I'm sorry to say.
Don't understand. Next. Readout says, I mean, you could give a guy a gun, Vaughn, and he's automatically cool. Nah, I don't know if
that doesn't
enough.
hurt.
Yeah, I'm the cloud gun. So the funny thing is, I haven't even used the main projectiles of the gun. Like the main projectiles, these pellets, but they haven't come up yet. He's been because the underbarrel attachment of the gun is the freeze, so it's cloud related. So he's got the pellets, he's got whatever. He's got his rain grenade. You see in issue 3 where he throws a grenade up in the air and rains down a bunch of ammunition. He's got his smoke. His cloud smoke, basically his visor, he could see through it perfectly. He doesn't cough or anything, and everyone else is just completely blinded by it. But we don't, until this issue, we don't know a ton about this character, and it's really fun to it's part of me is almost like, oh my God, is this going to live up? Because I'll see all these theories that people come up with, but I'm like, what I came up with is good. My editor, when he first read that issue, is good. Everyone who reads this issue likes it. And so,
you talking about issue 1 or
with issue 5, where I reveal it.
Oh, yeah, good, man. So you sounds like you have a lot of beta readers. Like you're getting a lot of feedback when.
Oh yeah, less so now that I'm more confident, but I still get readers. Yeah, I have an editor and an assistant editor too, and yeah, I get a lot of feedback too. If I have like coloring, I'm like, does this look right? I'll get a second opinion, kind of like a doctor. I'll get a second opinion from this artist. Yeah. That's one of the good things. Ultimately, I'm much better at going, I trust myself now. Yeah. But I'm always getting feedback from people, always trying to make sure my stuff is as good as possible.
Yeah. And you got to be aware of what people perceive from your book too. Like,
right. Because I'm so in my own head. Like I wrote the script, I know. But sometimes I'll get sequentials and I'm like, hey, is it clear what's happening? And sometimes I'll be like, yeah, it's totally clear. Oh, okay, I'm just overthinking it. Or sometimes I'll be like, what?
Yeah.
Okay, we got to address that, blah, blah, blah. So it's often a push and pull and whatever. And it's tough, too, between deadlines because I'm getting better at the balance between there's a certain point you just have to let something go. And part of the good thing is with issue 1, again, every character was designed. So it's like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5, 6. These are all characters that, even though most of them don't appear again.
I love this epic shot, by the way.
Yeah,
it's double page spread, or it's Billy calls it the spread eagle.
Is that what he calls it?
Yeah, that's Billy's vocabulary. But
the official way to say it now, spread eagle page.
It's you got to have a money shot where you introduce your characters, right? Because the first time people see your characters is super important. It's kind of like going to leave a lasting impression, kind of like when you meet people in person for the first time, right? You got your only one chance at your first impression.
Yeah, it was actually funny because Phenomenova themselves were originally going to be introduced in the splash page. The villains were, but ultimately I decided to just pacing wise go with this when I got some feedback from my editor. And I was like, fuck it, we're going to see plenty of cool shots of them in action. Yeah. But normally, yeah, especially when you set it in stone like that. Now, it was funny, too, because I was going to have like half this page be this battle here, and then half this page be this battle here.
No, the first page is super important. You got to,
because it was 5 pages, 3 images, but it worked, and I'm glad I did it the way I did it because it's kind of like World War III is this huge. It's like the page is not enough to describe it.
You gotta lock those people in the first 2-3 pages for sure.
Yeah. And I think I did, especially if I'm gonna have kids in high school, which you've seen a million times. Now part of when I rewrote, there was like this 10-page bullying scene that was even longer in the version I sent to Justin Gray, and I could so it's just this little bit.
Yeah.
For all these bits of the friends, and because I based the friend group off of my own friends, and I would have so much fun. What is their dynamic? How long does this friend know this friend? And I was like, okay, I'm having too much fun with these characters. And my whole thing was, well, once he moves past it, what if they don't care anymore about the friends? I got to do it now. And I'm like, if they don't care later, then they're not going to care now. So cut it down. And I'm glad I did.
Nice, man. It's super epic. And it's awesome to see that you brought this idea that you had like since you were 12, I believe, like early grade
younger
school?
Than that. I would have been like 8, I think.
And to see, because that's when you have the age for the love of comics. That's when you you love this medium so much, but you don't have the skills yet to put it out.
Oh,
and then you get better, you learn the skills, but sometimes we grow old, we lose that child's kind of love for the medium, the passion along the way while we earn the skills. And so it's wonderful to be in that sweet spot where you both love your character, the medium to the max, and then you're building the skills and making it better and better and seeing improvements on the stories. I've been an artist all my life and I've loved it, but I'm just now learning to write stories, and I find it's as much as a challenge, if not more, because it's on a whole different level.
Yeah, no, I mean, dude, it's just there's so much to go with and so much work, but it's becoming more and more worth it. And now that I've kind of like done most of the big character designs, I had a big one like we've revealed the villain behind the reactor heist, King Dogan, in this one, who's on the Dan Dahl cover. But
and did you build the villains from the heroes, or were the villains? Did you ever think of the contrast between the two? What was going through your mind?
It was kind of, so I have a list of tons of villains. Dark Cloud, I knew it was going to be the first villain in the reactor heist, and then I had come up with others. I was like, well, I want more storm-based villains. What if I had Thunderclap, who is going to be in this issue, is kind of like a mix between Shocker and a few others, like a little Deathstroke in there. He's got these gauntlets that shoot like sonic blasts, but he can also shoot lightning out at people. He's like Thunderclap's right-hand man. And it was like, basically, I'd come with this reactor heist for issue 3. And I had written it in such a way, and then after making some revisions with issue 1, and my assistant editor, who knows stuff about reactors, had come up with this theoretical kind of reactor, fusion reactor, because it was going to be a bank heist. And then I got feedback that was like, do something original. And I was like, fuck it. It's something futuristic. All right, it's a reactor heist. It's not only that, it's a future reactor heist. And I was like, okay, what the fuck are they stealing? And so I had to rewrite it. And I kind of had this vague idea. It's funny, issue 1 was pretty much done, and I had known what they were stealing. And then I realized it didn't make sense. So I was like, well, how do I? Well, no, it's not that it didn't make sense. I adjusted it with my current plans. And so I had to come up with members of the team that fit this particular thing. So Brute, the guy, the like huge black guy who's super strong and everything, inherently useful in any team. He was from my like list of villains I've had, because this is from when I was a kid all the way. I just have tons of villains in my head. I was like, okay, I could just put him there. And then, okay, I need someone to manipulate metal. Do I have a character like that? No. Okay, let me create one. That became Master Metallo. I need these other characters. Portals, by the way, teleportation is the most useful broken power probably ever. So, all right, I need
Blink
people to
is awesome.
Did you ever play the Portal game by Valve?
Yes, 1 and 2. Great games.
Yeah, I just played the first one a couple of weeks ago. It was like, wow, dude, when you think you can put one on the floor and the other is coming out the top of a wall and you could just like throw yourself into directions, it's kind of OP.
Yeah. And then then Army was a character I had in my mind who can clone himself. That was an easy one. And so like Dark Cloud was an idea I came up with when I was a kid. I forget exactly how I came up with it. It was so long ago, but I'm going to assume lightning and cloud. I'm going to assume that was the process. And then Thunderclap I'd come up with. I have a bunch of other Storm-related villains, but for this Stormbearers roster, I only have like a few. But it's in the script. All the thugs, I had kind of come up with this practice to make it easier of like, they're all got cloud-related names. So fun fact, and actually, you know what's funny too is never call your script the final draft, because after issue 1 is published, I have changed 3 characters' names that were never spoken in the book, because I'm like, fuck it. It's published, but their names weren't published. And if a name was too cool for someone that gets taken out too quickly, I'll change it. But for the Cloud thugs, for the Cloud, because I was like, I'm very OCD where it's like, I don't, basically and my plans will change for way down the road. Because I'm like, if this person gets arrested, they might not be there for this later storyline. So we got to, but ultimately no one else is going to care about that. But I have for the Cloud Troopers, they each have a name. Like the people that aren't like named in the issue. So it'll be like the girl is Misty. One of them is Fog. There's Stratus is one of them. There's like I gave them all cloud related names, which that was fun. Yeah, there was Fog. Funny enough, so the one who gets the shit beaten out of him most is Vapor because I think vaping is gay. That was an inside joke to myself. It's never said in the book either. That was just an inside joke for myself.
Well, vapor is just, it's all around, like especially in software. Like vaporware is a term. I don't know if you've ever heard it for people who are like making up software that they're never going to build. So they market something that doesn't exist. They call it vaporware.
Yeah, it's just that was part of it, but I have like mirror images for character, like which character would go up against this one. But for this storyline, it's more about building the team. I will say Dark Cloud is also very different from Galvanite because I think themes are very important to a story. Like where that was one of the things that made me a better writer is what is the message of the story? What am I trying to say? And I kept reinventing. So I always say in Age of Deconstruction, it's a reconstruction, reconstitution. This is my ultimate love letter to superheroes. I'm using
it feels
Galvanite.
like it. Like I'm getting like very superhero 80s vibes from
which
the
is
names and your themes. Yeah, very much thrown back into that era, the best of that era.
And here's what I'll say, and I think I got this right off the bat. Dark Cloud does contrast with Galvanite a lot in the sense that they're very different in the sense that Galvanite is this bright-eyed but underexperienced teenager who still believes in everything. He has these powers. He doesn't know how to use them. You have Dark Cloud, and without spoiling everything, because it's going to go more in depth on this, based on what we've read, we get the sense that he definitely has some military background. He's someone who's been around the block for a long time, but he's become very cynical. He doesn't really believe in heroism as a concept. He believes everyone's kind of in on it for themselves. So it's this cynical kind of in it for yourself. He doesn't have powers, but he has gadgets. He's very much in a lot of ways the opposite of Galvanite. They're very different places in their lives. You know, he's the bright-eyed kid who's still learning everything, still rushing headfirst in danger. Galvanite is Dark Cloud is very calculating. He has a mission. He's up here, and she knows kind of the harshness of the world around him. And so I think for a story like this, it's the perfect threat for him to go against. It's a perfect threat for the team to go against because the Stormbearers in and of themselves already could thrash Phenomenova, and Dark Cloud in himself can as well. And that's why I felt he was the first villain I came up with when I was a kid, but he's also, when he was always in the first movie, going to be the villain. And I've basically refined him from the original idea and kept it going, but he's in a lot of ways opposed to Miles and kind of their conflict is going to really bring out a lot of the primary themes in the story. And I'm excited to see these two clash again.
Oh, dude, I can't wait to see the launch. This coming this Friday, right?
Fingers crossed. Because here's the thing, Kickstarter, it says 1 to 3 days. So basically, what I'm doing after this is I'm gonna, because I was double checking. You can change stuff after the campaign is approved. My goal is to get everything done enough tonight, send it off for approval. As soon as everything's ready, I'll dot my I's, cross my T's, we go. Because with issue 4, I told everyone, I'm going to launch by this date. And then for the first time, it took multiple days to get feedback. And then as soon as it launched, I launched like midday with no notice. And it was some of the most backers I've gotten during a launch. So I'm like, fuck.
Wow.
So that was really nice. And the first 48 hours. Oh, another big advice. I did this with issue 3. My artist had sent me. So Vivacity was one of the first characters that was designed by my friend who's an artist. She ended up stepping away from the project, but then she came back. She had a kid and everything around the same time that issue 5 or issue 3 was coming out, where Vivacity was finally getting introduced. So she did a cover. She did 2 different color schemes, and I was like, fuck it. I'm going to just make one of them like a limited edition 48-hour cover. And then that sold really well. And I was like, holy shit. So I was like, I'm going to do this from now on every campaign. I recommend that. But what I do is if you miss it, the only way to get it is by backing all the covers. And then you can get it at the bottom of that tier. So same thing with these Virgin covers. The Jules wraparound Virgin cover, you can get it that way.
By getting all the covers, yeah.
Or by getting all of it after the fact, or if you back in the first 48 hours, you can get as many of them as you want as an add-on. I don't give a shit.
Nice. So you got quite the comics empire started now, because you got like a couple of book titles. You're at conventions. You got your website. Man, I hope to see this take off. Do you have anything planned? Like, because you're halfway through the Phenomenova story, right?
Well, first storyline. I'm nowhere close to done with
okay.
That was my introductory. It was a long-winded introduction, but no, my God, I have ideas for hundreds of stories. You get it?
Good. Okay. I see. Because I was talking to Dave the other day, and he's got like his Perfect 10 stopped with after number 6, and he's doing another series. You got to come back to Perfect 10, Dave. Okay, that's cool, man. That's cool. So it's kind of an ongoing series, kind of like our favorite stuff as growing up, the X-Men, stuff like that. You could just keep going. Like, and what's the challenges of doing like a team book? Because you said you got a team book, but you couldn't present the whole team the first book.
Yeah, so I kind of knew my weakness. I'm good with ensemble casts, but it was honestly, it was when I was a kid. It was the idea I've had since I was a kid. Was the beginning of the movie, Miles would get struck by. Well, then he was called Josh. Miles fit better with character of super speed. He would get struck by lightning, and you'd see him fail on his own and then join the team. So that was just always how I pictured the story. But it was always meant to lead into that. But then I also decided with issue 2, it's a long story, to make that more about him and then introduce the team. And part of it was to show I can make you care about one character. Okay, let me get this. Let me really prove that I can do it to myself and to you and just get it right. Now let's bring in the team. Now let's really get them to gel together. And I'm so glad I took the time I did. When it comes to a team book, one of the other things too is like finding ways to sideline characters is something you have to do. You know, if you're like, hey, we need this character away from here, and when to bring them together. And ultimately, it's trying to figure out which ideas to focus on, because you can never do them all. And I knew I wanted to do some stuff setting up for Galvanite. I have ideas. I'd love to go off and do things. Like if you read the X-Men stuff, there'd be an issue. Nightcrawler, what's he doing? He's over here. This character, what's he doing over there? And then kind of just splitting up the characters. I think, like, honestly, I really like writing a team book. Balancing the characters can be difficult, but so far I feel like I've done well, and I kind of am enjoying it. It's the same thing with every other task. You got to just juggle things, know to put something down, but put it in a place where they're safe. You remember a place that makes sense. You can always pick them back up. And I picked only a few characters to start with, and I plan on adding more and more and more. There were plenty of characters I wanted to add, and I'm just going to keep going.
Right, because that's why you're going slowly in the beginning, or is to give each character time to develop, so to get the readers to know them before you. Because if you throw everything at them, nothing's going to stick. You're not going to get a chance to know anybody.
And the great thing about these newcomers right out there is you don't have to worry about waiting years through that. Now you have the team right out the gate. You spoiled bastards. You can just get on it right now. And not only that, you also get Dark Cloud's identity. And that was one of the things that was important to me too, is, getting right on that. So, because now you have it, now it's easy to catch up. And I really hope that you guys do, because I think and I will say too, for the collectors out there, every issue so far is a first appearance. Obviously, everyone's first appearance in issue 1. Then there's a couple of others, 2, 3, 4, 5. All of these have first appearances. The Wraith Crown issue 1. So first appearances all across the board.
Nice. I'm going to be on the lookout for it. Got the link pinned to the chat. Make sure you go and subscribe. Kickstarter.
And you guys can also, if you go to my website, Global Comics, you can actually read the first 10 pages of issue 1 for free, even if you don't have a membership, on globalcomics.com. And then if you decide you're interested, it's, like I said, we've got the digitals. And I hope you guys are interested.
I'm dropping Global Comics in the chat for people watching here.
Yeah, and if you guys are interested, back the campaign within the first 48 hours for issue 5 and the Wraith Rune, and yeah, anything like I said, we've got those 48-hour covers. We've got tons of stuff, and the thing about campaigns, especially Kickstarter, is faster. Like the better it does on launch, the more it promotes, the more it does that, and the more this campaign does, the more time I could spend creating. You know.
Yeah, how do you create by doing all the conferences and stuff, or is that just fuel? Is that just fuel because you're talking to people about comics all the time?
Yeah, I mean it's both, but admittedly, like because I've thought about it, issue 4 possibly could have been done sooner if I hadn't been on the road.
But you got to sell at the same time. You got to be all the hats in your company,
you know, and so I might start toning down some things soon, especially with YouTube content creation. Like I'll be like, oh, I want to talk about this movie. Like I haven't even seen the new Spider-Man yet. And it's, how do I balance everything? And you can't do it. It's kind of like I said, with the juggling, you can have all these things. You just have to know when to put something down for it. And that's always the tough part. And to me, the campaigns were really good because I'm constantly getting the momentum going. And I'm gaining new fans, you know, at a fast rate. And you have to, I remember someone said this to me a while ago, if you're not growing, you're dying. You always have to be growing.
Yeah, right. It's one or the other.
Yeah, I did watch Lanterns this morning.
Me too.
What did you think?
I felt it was kind of like I had the same feelings as I watched the Thunderbolts. It's everybody who's in this doesn't want to be here. It's like seeing a bunch of characters. They're all kind of sick of their lives. They don't like what they're doing. They don't want to be here.
Yeah, really
and
fun.
They're all jaded, you know, they're all depressed. They're all kind of black-pilled. I'm like, you can have that, but there needs to be like a little bit of contrast, right? You got the new guy who's coming in. He's the trainee. He should be excited. He should be young, excited, and naive a little bit. Whereas the other people can be jaded, but he gets in the car and he looks bored already. He's looking out the window. He's not even looking at Hal, who was his mentor. And I'm like, everyone's depressed and just blasé. Like, what is going on here? There's no contrast to it. You need to have something to bounce that off on because your whole show is depressing.
Yeah, it's funny too. Nathan Fillion, because he's the voice I hear in my head when I read Hal Jordan in the comics, and now he's playing.
Yeah, he did Hal Jordan in a few of the animated movies.
Yeah, I mean, and if you're sick of that shit, Phenomenova is kind of a response. I mean, it was what I was going to do anyway, but I especially doubled down on that in response to all that and the boys. And all of that is not that at all. It's the counter, or I always say in an age of deconstruction and cynicism, it's a optimistic reconstruction and reconstitution of the superhero genre. And I think one of the things I like most about it is because Lanterns, there was like, oh, he gives that whole spiel, and I get it where it's like the tie thing. It's just the job, it's whatever, but it's not what I want to see. And I think that's ultimately, like, let's say it ends up being a great show. It's not what I want to see. And I don't think it was, and I don't necessarily hate it, but I don't think it's for me. And I don't think it's for,
wake me up when Kilowog shows up.
Oh, you're going to be asleep for a while, pal. I don't see that. That's another thing too. It's like the spectacle. And I've thought about this too. I'm like, DC Comics is Detective Comics. Of all the heroes to choose for a detective ground level show, why the fuck would you choose Green Lantern? Like, that is the weirdest possible choice. Why not have a Martian Manhunter? Actually, that's a Martian Manhunter show would be better. You could save on CGI by I'm always incognito. Occasionally, I'll do like a thing. Why not have a Martian Manhunter show or a question show but you want the brand recognition of the Green Lanterns. And so you're going to do that. But it's like, this is like a series, someone who was like, wants to do like a pastiche, but it's not Green Lantern. This is not. And I think, again, it's, from everything I've read, it doesn't feel like it. And I was disappointed. That would imply I really had expectations, to be honest. Also, there were scenes I'm watching, I'm like, Oh, great. We have a fucking lawyer. This is great. This is exactly what I wanted to Why? Oh, we're watching Hal Jordan go to court. This is riveting. Oh, we're watching them like at the oh, he's teaching the kid how to play football. That's great. Oh no, we got family drama. Oh, I'm so glad I got as a child. My first Green Lantern was John Stewart. You know what I wasn't thinking of? Actually, no, exactly what I was thinking of. As a kid, I go, I can't wait to see John Stewart cuck an old man. Why the fuck was that in this? What was that?
Dude, not only he cucks him, and then he's the one who teaches his son how to throw a football. Dude. Like, I'm gonna raise your kid and F your wife. It's like, oh my god, these characters are not likable.
Dude,
like,
and then when they say fuck right out the show, I'm like, this is Green Lantern. Like, it just, I'm not a Puritan or anything like that, but to me, it's just like, this just feels off.
I'm coming to it as a normie because I didn't read Green Lantern. Like, I'm a Marvel guy at the heart. So I'm like, okay, let me discover this because I'm open to it. A lot of people really love Green Lantern. So I'm like, okay, there's something to this for sure.
I loved Rebirth.
Yeah.
Well, for me, the DCAU is, I know it's not the source material, but in my head it is. So I saw a lot of John Stewart. But I did see that one episode where they were shifting timelines and John Stewart turned into Hal Jordan.
Right.
And he was, in that case, Hal Jordan was voiced by Adam Baldwin.
Who is that right?
Who worked alongside Nathan Fillion for so long. I'm like, why didn't they just use Nathan for this? I think that is probably one of the best representations of DC is the DCAU, which all started with Batman the Animated Series.
And again, that Crusader Corps spread is like kind of an homage to that ending shot in the Justice League intro where it's like the background, because that's DC to me, is like these icons, and then you just see them dragged in the mud where Hal is. And I'm not saying Hal has to be a perfect character. God, no. Him being in a bar and all of that makes sense. I think, but it's just, this isn't it to me. It's not.
Well, there's something demeaning because he's supposed to be the guy who's training John, right? So he's always excusing himself. Pardon me, and he feels like he has no authority. That John's the strong one, the one to refer to, and he's supposed to be the trainee.
And again, I haven't read, Hard Traveling Heroes. I've read a decent amount of stuff between John and Hal, but my understanding is like John, from everything I've seen, he's kind of the straight man. And then Hal, he's one of the most experienced Lanterns, but he almost, so again, my first Green Lantern was John Stewart. I still love him, but as I got more into it, Hal became my favorite. Hal Highball Jordan. I like he screws up a lot. He's cocky. He's whatever. And you definitely see bits of that in the show. His origin is almost like a better origin. John Stewart, I like him, but he's kind of like, he's the perfect Green Lantern, and it's not a negative, but he's like the kind of guy, like you mentioned, and I had never thought of why it felt off, but like a Green Lantern that's more exciting, whatever. But John Stewart, he's very military.
Well,
and I like him. I like him a lot. And maybe I just haven't read the right stuff. He feels like he's a perfect supporting cast member. He's great he's a great member of the team. He's an objectively great Green Lantern. I love that he's like mechanical, so his constructs are very detailed. He's very military. And I like that about John Stewart. It's what makes him such a great character. But it just feels like him being the newbie, it's like they're trying to mesh these two ideas that don't really work. Because I feel like he doesn't really fit that character archetype. Like, and again, I haven't read the original stuff where he is the newer Green Lantern, but from everything I know of John, it doesn't seem like the dynamic. Because it's almost, I never saw John as like really looking up to Hal in that way, and I'm fine with new dynamics, but it's just it felt weird.
Yeah. Like like you say, there's different dynamics to be had, but like everyone seems to be on the black pill. Like everyone seems to be dark and depressed. You need a little bit of contrast. I mean, the kids weren't, but we only see them like 3 seconds. So not very big part of the story. But I'm going to keep checking it. I'm going to watch it and see where it goes. And you learn as much from stories that make mistakes as you do from the best masterpieces. Sometimes even more, because it's hard to reproduce those masterpieces.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't crazy about it. I'm sorry.
No, I mean the same thing here. Like, I try not to be like I want to like this stuff.
Yeah, I don't, because people are like, you're just got a hate boner. It's like, dude, that's part of why I honestly stopped paying attention on new stuff, because I get my hopes up, boom, get my hopes up, boom, and I kind of got, because I don't want to be like, oh, this sucks, this sucks, this sucks, this sucks.
Yeah, you get into this vitriol mindset where you hate everything, and I that's my attitude when going to Superman last year. I was like, okay, this is going to be a bad one. Let's go like watch it, make fun of it, rip and tear it, and I freaking loved it, dude.
Yeah, I liked it too.
And I was like, I was surprised. I was finally, this is something that's,
and that's why I want this.
Actually,
I didn't like the Snyderverse stuff for the very same reason we talk about all the dark and gritty. I love a Justice League movie with no fucking color. What a great idea. Let's have an intergalactic threat and not have a Green Lantern. There's like 4 of them. And let's not have any Green Lantern in the team. Are you fucking kidding me? And Green Lantern, like that, I hate the Snyder stuff for the most part. A Man of Steel, I'm very conflicted on. I hate Batman vs. Superman so fucking much. I hate that goddamn movie. But I'm not going to just swallow up everything else I get.
Dude, that scene where they both like yell after their moms, Martha.
And then people are like, "This is the best on-screen Batman." Like, maybe in terms of looks only, but it's like,
yeah, because they always do something good. Like, you can pick and choose what your favorite stuff is from the different movies, and some, like, even the bad ones can do some things pretty good. Like,
and I'm sorry, Batman doesn't kill. And in my opinion, the way it reads the movie is that the only person he was supposed to consider killing would be Superman, but he ends up not, which I still think is a stupid idea. But it's like Batman, there'll be like the opening in the movie, he branded people. This is the most brutal act yet. And then you see him just mowing people down. I'm like, so it was, what? Was that his first time killing? Because he seemed pretty used to it.
And that's a super important thing. Like aspect of superheroes too, like whether they kill or not.
Yeah, it's
like
something I thought about.
What's your take on your heroes? Like, do they kill? Do they not kill? Are they in between?
They try not to kill. They generally, it's the rule not to kill. If they absolutely necessary, they might, but like they like, it's not like never, but it's like a couple nevers less. Like they don't want to kill. They try their best to apprehend the suspect, but then to the best of their abilities. Also, I don't want to kill off all my villains right away. Let's be honest, it's a big part of the reason why the things are the way they are.
It's IP, baby.
Yeah, but I also, that's part of it is they want to try not to kill.
Yeah.
If they can help it.
That's well, you got some collateral, like you got this dude called Army, which I imagine he can instantly clone himself.
That's fun because I can die
like a lot of times.
Yeah, I can make them. With issue 3, I had fun with that because I was like, all right, let's have them really cut loose against the clones. The clones.
Well, you could have like creative deaths too. Like you could have like video game, like over the top absurd deaths. Like, let's stick this guy's body in the fan and spray it everywhere.
Yeah. Like I was like, okay, this character is laser. Let's have him just cut down some people. Let's have Thermo just really incinerate some of the Army clones. That was a fun sequence to do. That's when I had them first cut loose. I was like, let's give them just an army of mindless drones and just have them go nuts as a team. That was fun.
Dude, it really sounds like you really love comics as a medium.
God.
And I appreciate that a lot. Do you have like personal goals as a writer, as a creator that challenges that you want to, because you're building to something now. You've got like this 9-issue arc.
I have 50 different goals always at every time. But I will say I want this first issue. I want to be able to get books out regularly. I have other ideas that aren't related to this I want to do, but my goal is to create, to the best of my ability, one of the best, not the best superhero comic of all time. I want to do, that's not saying I'm going to, but it's the setting.
No, we're talking goals. Yeah, you got to aim high.
So if I'm like the 50th best, I'm the 100th best, I'll take it.
Yeah.
But it's I want to be able to keep a series going that it's a long run, a lot of mythos and whatever, but that has creator control, and then it's going to end at some point after a while. But I want it to be a series that people will grow with, people will come back to, a world that people go, this was something special. This was something that kind of like a lot of the comics and characters I got into were created before I was even born. I want it to be something that people can go back to and enjoy for forever. I want like it to be kind of give that feeling. We talk about that cynical feeling of, it's like an abusive relationship. It's like, yeah, you get to see my favorite character. It's like, I want basically, you can trust me, here are my characters. I want you to care about them. Doesn't mean I'm never going to break your heart, but always know that I have the character's best intentions in heart. I understand them better than anyone. If I ever give anything for anyone else to write, that I want to create like a superhero world. Sounds corny, but like that where people feel safe in, where people feel like I can invest my time, my money in this. And it's not saying I'm not going to take risks, but it's like, I'm always going to get good stories and like a consistent voice, kind of like imagine, Claremont's run, but without, with an actual ending where he's able to keep going and actually like end the series. And that's really my goal, is to do that in the independent scene and to create something timeless. I have other ideas I want to do. I have Bobby right here and I are going to be working on something. I have a bunch of different characters I want to explore. Like Galvanite was my entry point character, but it's not going to just be his series. It's a team book, like I said. And basically, I want to be able to explore as many of the avenues as I want while constantly keeping interesting. So like reinventing itself while being true to the core is ultimately, I just want to create like one of the best superhero experiences for anyone, whether you're a seasoned comic book fan or have never read a comic book, a story that will continue to grow with you. Like one of the things that was really cool about Claremont's X-Men is seeing how it grows and grows and grows and grows. And by the time you have that X-Men #1 where you have like this fold out.
Oh yeah, dude. Double fold out. What do you mean one fold out? It was double fold out on both sides.
Yeah. Oh, right. You're right. Yeah. Cause that's what I want, man. Is more than anything is just that. And,
Bat Sauces. I also have a lot of plans for his universe. All of them will be better than Vaughn's.
Yeah, his stuff is good. I will say. I mean, I would not, even if I'm friends with him, I would not greenlight the book or put my time into it if this wasn't. And I'm his editor, so I was like, it's got to be good. And he is doing some good stuff. And again, the better it funds. He's already got the second one written, but we're just seeing how well the first is received and blah blah blah. And I'm imparting on him a lot of the wisdom I learned from my first book and my second, my third, my fourth. And I also want to create other IPs. Like I have a Bad Girl book I want to do. I have other stuff, but my thing is let's focus and get Phenomenova. I want it to be a regular series that I could keep coming back to, like a production pipeline. Almost imagine like Marvel where you're putting stuff out at a regular pace, but it's not as corporate in the sense, it's like in the good sense, but not in the sense of like, I don't want it to ever feel like this is just a product and there's not like this is my dream,
Right. Cause at the same time, it does become a product at one point where you're like, you got to give it to the people regularly. You got to make sure you got good quality, but inside this product, you're putting your love, your dreams, your writing, your story ideas and all that. So it kind of merges both. And when you're the writer and the producer, you got to wear both hats on that too.
Oh,
so
yeah.
That's another challenge. But it sounds like you got like your eyes on kind of both, like being doing good quality work and also getting it out punctually for people to have something regular.
And I'd love to be able to hire like all these menial tasks, these creating Kickstarter campaign tiers. And like, I'd love to be able to have more time to write and to do this. And if I could find a way to hire out, especially friends, like when my dad, when he got his job at the World Trade Center, he wanted to hire out all of his friends and have them do work. And that's kind of what I want. I want to make sure I'm surrounded by, honestly, my ultimate goal is to be creating my dream comics, helping other people realize theirs as well, surrounded by people I love and doing it in a timely manner and making the best stuff I can. That's my ultimate goal.
Dude, that's a fucking awesome, noble goal.
Thank you. Yeah.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, Vaughn. This brings us to the end of the show, to the end where we call, that I like to call shield time. And we got Skeleton coming here at the end of the Skeleton. What are you doing coming in at the end, tail end? What are you doing?
What's up, man? Well, he's here for show time.
How you doing, man? He's like, I'm going to skip the work. I'm just going to, it's time to promote my comics. I'm going to be first in line.
I respect it.
Skeleton, are you using your Jewish, profile pic for this one?
I
don't
know how to respond to that.
Yeah, you don't need to. Wait, get your lawyer before you respond to that.
Right.
All right, I got to play the clip because this is a show time, ladies and gentlemen.
Shit! Oh, there they are. Look at these gorgeous sons of bitches.
Yeah, look at these gorgeous people. Okay, let me put myself back into the center. We're going to say goodbye to everybody, starting with Skeleton Comics, who's been such an important part of this conversation tonight.
I know, right? Hey, sorry I'm late, you guys. I've been setting up some drip line for my stepdad and the citrus trees. He paid me back in bourbon and steak, and I admit I'm pretty
sounds
drunk
like a
right
good
now.
business deal.
My God, I would have dropped the stream to go get bourbon and steaks. Are you kidding? Call me next time. That's all I'm asking.
Anyways,
no, dude, it's all good, man. We're just laughing around and having fun. You're always a part of the show, whether you're coming in at the tail end or whether you're here for us with the whole show. I can't even talk anymore. Would you like to open show time for us? Can you tell us what you're working on and where can people find you?
All right, well, shoot, I feel kind of bad shilling my stuff.
Good, feel the badness.
You can find me at Core Comics on Twitter, CORPS Comics, with the little @ symbol. Oh man, I might have had too much whiskey.
It's okay. I had too much wine. I think we're on the same level.
Is there such a thing?
I always pronounce it corpse, but it's core, folks. It's skeleton core.
Yeah, core.
Anyways, skeleton, it could work either way.
That is true. It could work either way. Anyways, pay no mind to the skeleton who came in last minute. You can find me on Twitter, and that's all I got right now.
Wonderful. It's all good, man. It's all good. Thank you.
You gonna share some of that bourbon?
We got Billy Bob side. You got a couple of clips for us tonight. Do we have time to watch them, or
No.
we're a little bit too tight? Okay. All right. Want to talk about the links to GTA 6? Do you play GTA, Vaughn? Or
oh my God, I play
let's move into
so much GTA, dude.
are you looking forward to the next one?
Yeah, I mean, isn't Ocarina of Time coming out close to it?
I have no clue.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Billy, do you want to show us one of the clips?
Well,
real
we
quick?
can't show any of the clips because you are going to get taken down from it.
Oh, that's the thing.
But
Okay.
TLDR, a bunch of like fucking crypto scam hackers, whatever, managed to get like 2 clips of the game.
They're called shitcoiners, yes.
Yeah. Get 2 clips of the game, and then presumably the whole fucking map is leaked of it.
And it's authentic, but
the videos are the map maybe.
But don't buy their
shit
shitcoin. It's stupid.
But I don't know, the clip. You don't even know when they're dated. It's saying 2023, but it could be anywhere between 2023 and 2025 of how old.
So these are old clips that are kind of coming up now.
Yeah. It just confirms a little bit of stuff and shows you a little bit.
Yeah. All right. Anything you're working on? Where can people find you?
I ain't working on nothing.
And you're hiding in a bunker where no
That's
one
right.
can find you. Okay, that's fair. Wrangler, Frequency Studios. I know you're working on something.
Yes, sir, I am. I'm working on books 3 and 4 in my series, which is, currently I still think it's going to be 7 to completion, but we'll see. But I'm hoping to have book 3 out later this year or in the first half of next year. But books 1 and 2 are available right now on Amazon. You can check out Haley Star Bad Kitty and Bad Kitty Haley's World. They are action-fueled sci-fi adventures. Go check them out. You've heard of lit RPGs? Well, these are not lit RPGs, but you could call them lit Metroidvanias. And they have to deal with some ability-gated exploration. So go check those out. It's a good time, and I kept it clean, so you can go ahead and share these stories with your kids without worrying about anything. I called the first book ages 10 and up, and the second one ages 13 and up. But book 3, they will be all grown up and be a bit more of a serious tone. Book 4 is going to try and go back to a bit more of a comedic tone, but that's going to be in the future. But you can check those out now on Amazon. Just go to Amazon, type in Bad Kitty Frequency Studios. They should pop right up. Also, check out my channel on YouTube at Wrangler212, where we do a show similar to this every Monday night starting at 8:05 p.m. Eastern. And you can follow me on Twitter or X or whatever you want to call it, the X Twitter, at Frequency Studios. Just drop the first E. I'm also over on Substack under Frequency Studios. I do also have accounts on Minds, Truth, and Blue Sky as well. I haven't checked any of those in about 2 years. But
I was going to say, is Blue Sky still a thing?
I don't know. But yeah, I remember when I first said, I made a Blue Sky account, and somebody said, "Why did you make a Blue Sky account?" I said, "Because leftists buy books too, and I just want to sell them." So
that's true.
You got to sell to everyone, man.
Yep,
you got to sell to everyone.
Yeah.
So anyway, go ahead and check that out. It's a good time, and go on an adventure. You never know what you could accomplish with a well-aimed potato gun.
Well said, my man. Well said. And we're going to close out with our special guest for tonight, Mr. Vaughn Coleman. Vaughn, thank you so much for taking the time out of your busy schedule.
Sorry for yapping so much. No, it's my pleasure.
Yeah, next time.
Why you were here?
No. He was talking way too much. We're not going to let this pass next time. We're going to give him a limit of words because this has gone.
But the more he talks, the less I have to talk.
Completely out of control. Dan seems to have enjoyed it, though. He says, "Great interview, great conversation." Thank you, Dan. You seem to be a man that has a good sense of observation, and I appreciate that. So, Vaughn, thank you so much. Parting words. Could you tell people what you're working on? Where can people find you?
Yeah.
Make sure to. I got the link for the Kickstarter here in the pin to the chat. I'm going to drop it again. Make sure you guys go sign up for that this week.
Yeah, so go ahead and check out my YouTube channel. It's just my name, Vaughn Coleman. I'm going to be hosting my launch party. I also do shorts like every day. I'm on Instagram. I'm on YouTube. I'm on Twitter. You name it, I'm there. I also do have my own stream, like Vaughncast. I decided to just fire up the stream. I was like, what do I call it? Vaughncast, whatever. And people actually like it. So I was like, all right. And sometimes I host discussions on movies and stuff. You also got my website, Rebel Oasis Studios. which if you join my email list, that keeps you up to date on every creative project I'm doing. Sometimes we're at conventions, whatever, if you join there. And then you've also got Kickstarter. If you sign up for the Kickstarter, we launch very soon. Even if you're not 100% sure, every sign up helps with the algorithm. That's my main thing I've got going on. So keep your eyes on my YouTube channel. Keep your eyes on my comic books. We've got plenty of things coming your way. And we even got the first 4 issues right here for you to check out. And that free sample, if you just go to titles and then you go to Phenomenova, you can read the first 10 pages of issue 1 right now for free.
It's free. There's no cost. Go do it now.
Do it.
That brings us to me, moi. I have been your host, Frédéric Guimont, creator and artist, writer, everything except colorist on Rattel, which is about to be shipped out, folks. Quick update for Rattel. It's at the Critical Blasts. It's about to be distributed. I just paid the fees today. So it's going to be going out. Oh, yeah, dude. It's just taking a load off of my, just especially the cross-country thing in Canada, US.
I can't even imagine, dude.
It's going straight, printed in the US, distributed in the US to mostly US clients. So a few will be in Canada. And it's going to be coming out to you guys this week. So be on the lookout for that. Thank you so much. If you are new to the channel, make sure you like and subscribe. We'd love to have you back. And we'll definitely invite Vaughn back sometime in the future. It would be great to continue the conversation. And we got to have Bat Sauce on again to talk about this comic as well. That would be fun. And we are leaving you, gentlemen, with our very own, very lovely Sabrina Salerno. So good night, everybody. God bless. I love you all.
Have a great night, Comics Gate.
All right. Later.
Boys.